over the last couple of months, I've really started to delve into the astronomically huge subject of astrology. I've been fascinated by astrology for ages and I've always wanted to learn more about it, but it was really overwhelming and daunting to know where to start learning about it. So in today's video, I want to share my experience with learning astrology and the resources, books, websites, and apps that have really helped me. I hope that it'll help anyone who is curious to learn more about astrology. The way I see it, astrology is such an amazing tool that helps us to understand the world and ourselves a bit better. There are so many video ideas I have talking more about it as well. For now though, get yourself a cuppa and let's talk about astrology. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, my name's Ebony and this channel is here to help you reconnect to your intuition so you can manifest in the real world. If you're interested in all things self-development, mindset and spirituality, I hope you'll consider subscribing and be sure to ring the little bell to be notified when I post a new video every week. Astrology really is such a massive subject, and even making a video about starting to learn astrology is tricky. There's really no one right way to go about it, and everyone's way of learning is so different. I hope that this video helps to inspire you to try learning a little bit more about astrology, even if it's just for yourself. All the resources and suggestions I make in this video will also be linked in the description below. And if you'd like to learn more or you'd like to bookmark it for later, I'll also have a link to a full blog post in the description below too. Every video on this channel has a full blog post that goes alongside it. So I hope that helps if you'd like to quickly refer back to anything I mention or here on YouTube. Firstly, before we get into the rest of the video, I want to quickly explain a few basics of astrology to give you an idea of really where to start. I'll go into more detail on all of these things in future videos. And if you do have any questions at all, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. To help me explain some of these basic terms, I'd like to refer to this book here, which I'll talk more about in this video as well. So this is The Awakened Life, Astrology by Madeline Gerwick. This book has been an amazing resource and it definitely explains things better than I can. Put simply, astrology is based on the relationships between the planets, the sun and the moon, 12 zodiac or sun signs, and 12 areas of a person's life called houses. Astrology began as the study of the wandering stars, or planets as we know them today. It's actually the study of planetary cycles and how the energies of these events relate to their concurrent time on Earth. Put another way, astrology uses the harmony of the universe to observe the possibilities of human behavior and experience. The zodiac is the name of the elliptic pattern Earth follows in its annual revolution around the sun. This path is always the same and always passes through the same 12 signs. Signs are the how of astrology. The signs of the zodiac are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All zodiac signs appear in every person's chart. More on charts in a moment. Planets are the what of astrology. They represent the various energies of a person, including your mental and emotional nature, desires, vitality, soul, will, consciousness, and subconscious, as well as the people in your life. Throughout this book, we include the sun, the moon, and the north and south nodes, even though they aren't actually planets. The houses are the where of astrology. Each of the 12 houses encompasses a specific arena of life and is the stage where the drama of the planets unfolds. Okay, so all of those terms briefly explained, how do you know how the different signs and planets and houses impact us individually? That's where your astrological birth or natal chart comes in. Your birth chart is the astrological map of the skies at the very moment that you were born. It shows you where all the signs and planets were when you came into this world. And it looks like a wheel like this. Looking at a birth chart can be a little intimidating and confusing at first, but every symbol and line has a purpose. Every aspect of a chart has meaning and represents who you are as a unique person living on this earth at this moment in time. So naturally, I believe that the first step in learning astrology has to be looking at your birth chart. And luckily nowadays there is technology available to do it for you, so you don't have to do it by hand like they used to. Astro.com. The first suggestion I have for you today is to go to astro.com, which is reportedly the most accurate resource for calculating your birth chart. This website will do all of the work for you in figuring out your birth chart. All you need to know is the date, exact time, and place of your birth. The time of your birth has to be exact down to the precise minute, as it can be the difference between a planet appearing in one sign over another, and so on. For the most accurate birth chart, your time has to be correct. This can be a little tricky to find out for some, and if it's not written on your birth certificate and you have absolutely no idea what time you were born, there are still a couple of options. You can consult an astrologer and request a rectification, which essentially means that you tell the astrologer all about you and your life, and then they estimate your birth time based on that information. The other option is to use noon as your time of birth, what's called a noon chart. It's less accurate, and so you have to bear that in mind as you try to interpret it, but it will still give you something to work with, which is better than nothing. Hopefully though, you can find out your exact time of birth, but if not, at least you'll have an estimate. You will also need the exact location of your birth. On astro.com, simply type in the town you were born in, and the website will determine the latitude and longitude of that place for you. Based on this location information and along with the date and time of your birth, astro.com will then generate your very own unique birth chart using an algorithm. So now you have your birth chart, what next? Astro Cafe. Just like on astro.com, for this website you'll also have to type in your birth information, and it will give you your birth chart in the form of a wheel as well. This website is fantastic for breaking down all the different elements of your chart and explaining what it means to you in your life. It's not perfect, and I always like to think of anything you read in regards to your birth chart as being on a scale of possibilities. It's only ever going to be able to give you a broad overview of your potential, likes and dislikes, personality, experiences, and so on. At one end of the scale is your minimal potential, what you're like naturally, what comes easy to you without making any growth or improvements in that area of your life. At the other end of the scale is your maximum potential, should you choose to work towards it. Your chart essentially maps out your personal growth journey. It gives you the blueprint for your success and happiness in life. Now, Astro Cafe may seem like a lot of reading to do, but it really is a good place to start, as it gives you a rundown of every aspect of your chart, all on one handy website. Labyrinthos. This website is so good. It even goes into tarot and Lenormand card meanings too. If you click learn, then astrology, you'll find out so much information with really handy infographics too. The Horoscope. This website is packed with so much astrology goodness. Every element of your chart can be found here. I'd suggest going to Cafe Astrology first because it writes it all out for you, which may be easier while you're still learning all the symbols on your chart. So while you're on Cafe Astrology, you can scroll through, find a particular aspect you'd like to learn more information on. For example, my North Node is in Capricorn. So if I then take that piece of information and head over to the Horoscope website, I'll be able to read more about what that means to have my North Node in Capricorn, for instance. The Horoscope website gives you so much more to work with and relate to, and at the end of the day, it's all guidance and suggestions that might be helpful for you. Google. Of course, I have to mention Google. I've found some really great websites simply by Googling specific aspects of my chart. You just never know what might come up. That will just click in a different way than you've read it before. So for instance, I could Google Moon in Taurus and so much more information will come up. It's very easy to get lost down the rabbit hole of astrology, especially once you start Googling things. Apps. There are some really great apps that I recommend too. All of these will also require you to put in your birth information, and then they'll use an algorithm to work out your birth chart. Time passages. I recommend this one to start with to everyone. Not only is it awesome to see your chart, it's similar to Cafe Astrology in that it gives you a breakdown of what each aspect of your chart actually means for you. It also shows you the current chart in this moment and what that means. I've barely scraped the surface on what this app includes. The daily horoscope goes far beyond just your sun sign, and there's an entire learning section which seems to cover all you could possibly need to know about astrology. Sanctuary. The Sanctuary app is really wonderful too. It has really great graphics and it's very interactive and user-friendly. You can have psychic, astrology and tarot readings through this app too, but I haven't done any. While I love time passages, Sanctuary is really easy to understand and very to the point. Their Instagram account is awesome too. I definitely recommend you check that out as well. CoStar. This app is possibly one of the more well-known and I do enjoy it and find it accurate for me. However, apparently it isn't the most accurate in terms of generating your chart, and it actually doesn't give you all your birth chart information. It simply gives you a table with the basics, but there's so much more to your chart than that. I'd still suggest checking it out, but I recommend checking the information it gives you to ensure that it's accurate. Books. Astrology, The Awakened Life by Madeline Gerwick. As I already mentioned earlier, I love this book. There are so many books on astrology out there, and I've read a lot of books that kind of touch on it a little bit too. But this right here has been my absolute favorite go-to, and I can't recommend it highly enough. I've obviously been enjoying learning about astrology so much with this book as well, that I've been carting it around everywhere while I've been traveling, and I've been reading it and taking notes from it any chance I've had. Gerwick explains everything so well, and the way the information is structured is also really easy to follow. It's also easy to find anything specific that you want to look up, so while I have been reading it from the start, it's also a really great text to simply refer to. It's in-depth but not overwhelming, which is exactly what you need in an astrology textbook. There are a few books back home that I have packed away that touch on astrology a little bit too, but I think for the sake of keeping today's video not too long, I'll maybe have to do another video on astrology books in the future. If you know of any astrology books you'd like me to read and review for you, or you have any suggestions of your own, please do comment them below because I'd love to know. So now I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about astrology? I hope you're feeling a little more confident now to delve deeper into this subject. And I hope that the suggestions I've made today help you to get started. If you'd like to learn more, as I mentioned earlier, I have a full blog post you can check out linked in the description below. Over on my blog as well, you can also sign up for my free weekly newsletter that I send out every Monday morning, which includes a charm tarot reading for your week. Plus there are freebies involved in signing up, which is kind of fun. So find out more in the link below. As always, please do let me know in the comments if you have any questions or requests, or find me over on Instagram at Ebony Highland. I'd love to see you over there as well. I really hope that you enjoyed watching today's video, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to ring the little bell to be notified when I post a new video every week. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. It really does mean the absolute world to me. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to see you here again next week. So much love. Bye. It really does mean the absolute world for me. Oh, it's been a while.